Hi, and welcome to the advanced section of the Easy Arbitrage Profits. I wanted to continue on the theme of the last module where we looked at t-shirts. One of the best ways to maximize profits is to import the goods into your country. Clearly, the cost of goods from in other countries such as the Far East is going to be lesser than it is in the West. And so, therefore, if your business was to grow effectively, one of the options you might want to consider to do so is to start importing the goods. And there are ways of importing small amounts, the best one probably being Alibaba.com. The issue you have with importing is that there are some scams around. Obviously, if you import from someone like China, that's going to be a far way from wherever you are. If things go wrong, if you don't get the goods at all, or if the goods come in a sort of a different shape or quality than what you were hoping for, it's a long way away to start pursuing your money. And so therefore you want to be ensured that you take all the right steps before you import to make sure that the transaction goes as risk-free and as stress-free as possible. And this is really what this module is about. It's about safe importation. Now there's 5 ways of protecting yourself, and what I'll do is sort of touch on these in turn. The first one is that you should really be asking for a sample before you embark on a large transaction. That works on a number of levels. First of all, you make sure that it will ensure that the supplier is genuine. You'll see the quality for yourself, and then that gives you a point of reference later on that you can compare the larger order to the sample, and it's just something I would highly recommend. Once you have a sample, you're ready to place the order. The second thing you can do is pay through PayPal, which is insured. It's certainly insured if you don't get the goods. I'm not sure quite about the terms of service if the goods aren't exactly what you've agreed, but having a sample is a very good way for you to ensure that the quality is there for you. And I believe you can either get the full amount of money or at least a partial amount of money, but you'd probably be best to check on the latest terms of service with PayPal. But generally it's a very large deterrent to an unscrupulous supplier, just the mere fact of paying with PayPal. So highly recommended. The problem with PayPal is they charge a reasonably high commission, something like 4%, and the exchange rates aren't good. So generally people in the Far East don't like it very much. And there are some countries where PayPal isn't even accepted, like Pakistan. So if you want to order from some different various countries that don't accept PayPal, then that's not an option. So you need to look at some other options. Another option is to pay through Ali Escrow, which is a service that's provided by Alibaba. The way that works is essentially you pay the money into an Alibaba account, and when the goods are received, that's when you release the money. So it's good. If there's a problem, there's an adjudication procedure where Alibaba adjudicates. Again, probably best to check the terms of service. The issue there is again the exchange rate and the costs. But I think it's a really safe way to move forward, and certainly it's a very, very large deterrent for any unscrupulous factories or anything like this, because not only is the money protected, but also if anyone is going to be doing a lot of business on Alibaba, they would want their reputation intact. So they have a very strong incentive to ensure that the transaction goes smoothly. Another way to protect yourself if the Ali Escrow is not something that you're going to go forward with, and you do find that as the transaction sizes increase, generally suppliers don't really take you seriously if you want to pay with Ali Escrow or PayPal. However, it's certainly very effective methods for smaller amounts. As you start growing the business and you sort of look at containers and possibly sorry, I don't mean containers, you sort of look at partial containers, and you grow the business to containers later on. Then things like bill of lading becomes very important. The way that business is conducted generally in the Far East is that you deposit 30%, and the rest, i.e. the 70%, is paid on upon seeing the bill of lading. The bill of lading is a shipping document, and it generally means that the goods have made it to the vessel, so at least you know that the goods are there, even though you haven't got any assurances as to the quality of the goods, which is where the next point comes into it. But if you pay upon the bill of lading, again, that's a strong deterrent for anyone to fraudulently sort of pull a fast one, as it were. So I would highly recommend, if you can, not to pay up front, but to pay 30% and 70% on the bill of lading. And finally, if you're just starting out, it may be worthwhile to hire a local representative or a local inspection company through companies like Odesk or Elance, and they can they can either conduct a quality inspection, or at the very least you can hire a local person to ring the factory and ascertain that you're receiving what you paid for. And again, having a local person to be calling around is a great deterrent, and they know that you mean business. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money, but I think it's important as you grow the business. This leads us on to the end of module 7. I hope you enjoy the course. If you have any questions, just drop me an email to dan@trafficgenerationsecrets.net. Have a good day, and goodbye.